What's going on YouTube? Earth Power here, bringing you a top 8 deck profile. Mark Woodin topping again with Kalima.
Yes.
So tell us about, I guess, past experiences and now leading to today. Why Kalima?
It just seems to work the best. I mean, honestly, it deals with all these pile decks I've been running around, and then also I've adjusted it so that it can deal with more tempo matchups, more rush matchups. It sort of fizzled out at the end of the day, but I basically went undefeated the entire day, and I drew my final round, so 5-0-1, and then I lost in top 8.
Lost in top 8 to
Jessica Posey.
Posey running the light fire
Cyberlord deck,
water, Cyberlord. So, I guess we'll get right into the deck profile here. Talk a little bit, I guess, big boss monsters. I guess start from high curve,
Okay, a little different, okay. Obviously, Queen Kalima, I run it in 3s because it's just that good. It's easy answers to Haven, and if they just flood the board like too much, and being able to fetch back things, it's just really good.
What would you say is your bad matchup? Because I know, like, choosing Kalima coming into this, like, it's got a really good control matchup. Tempos kind of half and half depending, and then you pretty much beat anything that swings at you before turn 4. So, like, what were you expecting today?
I mean, I was expecting kind of what we had. I was expecting some piles. I was expecting some tempo decks. I wasn't expecting as much rush. The Cyberlord decks, I think, was going to be a thing, but before I had dealt with it without like a huge issue. But I'd say in general, anything rush if I don't see my blockers or like screeching. So I mean, honestly, it just depends on if I get everything. And I mean, honestly, I usually do.
And I would think, like, obviously MVPs are like the Serpents and the 2 Andro.
Yeah.
So people are gonna wonder 2 Andro.
Yeah.
Obviously not Kalima bait, but
yeah. No. The deck's 92% light. I'm sorry, dark.
Right.
So the only light cards are the Andro and the Lyras. The Andro is just amazing late game. I didn't want to run the 3rd just because I didn't want to hit so many light cards.
Yeah.
And Serpent sort of like allows you to get to that earlier, especially since I'm sacrificing things or I'll ram things into other things.
I saw you playing the rush deck in round 5 and using Serpents to just throw your stuff into it just for being safe.
Yeah, no, I really, and I should have done that in the top 8 at one point, but instead they ended up having the Dendrite, so they bounced the blocker instead of. So,
but Magaria, I think is something that people are here and there about. I hear
Team Peach doesn't like it,
and I hear a lot of people don't like it. Yeah. So reasons for 2. And,
okay, here's the thing. It's a solid 7 drop, 7 for 7 double breaker, but it mills, so you get some extra cards in your discard pile, and no matter what, it's going to give you another card. So it essentially replaces itself.
Right. It's floating. Yeah.
Right. But then when you combine that with like Kalima, or better yet, like scavenging, or even in some cases Helix, you can set up for just returning things back to your hand the same turn. So it's almost like a kind of like draw engine as well,
right?
Which is pretty cool.
The bridge card, I think, is what a lot of people are calling it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, interesting synergy with the One Nightmare Helix.
Yeah.
How often did you use it to actually just kill a creature?
Today hardly ever. This like in Monroeville, this card was amazing. Today it was just like, it really didn't do anything.
I think subpar with like all the rush and tempo running around. So.
But like in the control matchups, things like that, like I can fetch back things, which is really nice. Especially like not today, but like the other KMC. It's like, I played this and I took back like Kalima and Andro, and by that point, it's like just
all over.
Yeah. I did want to touch on this guy too.
Yeah, Dragon Thane. I was going to say that's something that a lot of these decks aren't included anymore, especially when they run the light sections.
A really good card, especially, obviously when you draw, it's good, assuming that you have enough mana to play it. But being able to play that and then like fuel into either you get your blockers, your Evo bait, discard, potential banish, or recursion, it's really good. And then on top of that with Kalima, it's another 16,000 bodies. So
yeah, and then that late game against Rush, it just brings back back 2 blockers and may have died. So super solid, almost as solid as Andrew could be. And then to touch on some of the 4-drops and lower and all that, I mean, you're running the Ripper Reaper engine. That's seen, I guess, a little bit of fall off. You know, some people are straying away from that.
Yeah.
But not only are you running Ripper Reaper, you're also running the 3 Hydro Medusa.
Yes.
Reasons for both. This deck's 50 cards.
Yes, it is.
So
the reason for, I mean, the Ripper Reaper is just good in himself. Being able to follow up, like, you know, screeching with either the Ripper or the Medusa is really beneficial without having to play a spell because, you know, scamps everywhere, keepers everywhere. But I mean, being able to sack something's really cool. But like Hydra Medusa, I mean, there's 7 base Evo baits for it. So one of the benefits though is that you can just go ahead and play Hydra Medusa on top of the other Hydra Medusa, and you get a kill spell basically. So I mean that's really good. This is amazing against tempo. They go in, they swing, they think they're safe with their Rusalka because they lock down my guy.
And you just +1 them. For like no reason.
It's really good.
With momentum.
Honestly, I just feel like this has to be at 3. I could cut it down to 2, but then it would just, like, I wouldn't see it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It seems like something you're going to always want to see.
Yeah.
But I mean, reason, like 50 cards, like, would you consider cutting this deck down after running it today? Like, something less?
I mean, I could, but, like...
I've seen some lists get themselves down to, like, 40, 42 cards for Kalima. Just not a fan.
I mean, Christian can say what he wants.
Right.
But, I'm probably going to be sticking with a slightly higher end deck, just because I don't want to have to worry about, you know, decking myself out with Andros, Kalimas, Megarias, Marks, and Serpents.
And you want to stick with all those cards. Right. Like the 3F Serpents is crazy.
I mean, the idea of the game is to, you know, not necessarily stall out, but just get your opponent to the late game so that you can do all of your stuff.
Just drop big things that have crazy effects.
And being able to drop, like, there are times where, you know, you can get, like, 2 Serpents out, live the dream, swing your Stingwing into something, get 2 shields, whatever.
Speaking of Stingwing, that's the last thing I want to touch on before we end this profile, but that 4500, super relevant. I saw you messing with owls literally all day. Like versus like Skeeter Swarmer and the non-light section ones. Like,
Stingwing's really good. I mean, if you're playing against, I mean, obviously it's 4500, so I mean, the biggest thing is it deals with owl. The other thing is it can just easily trade with anything like these, like Naya Blitz decks. I mean, you've got like 4000. Razor Cat, stuff like that. I mean, not that I saw that today.
Right,
I
but
mean,
if you did, you're prepared.
And I mean, it can kill off Keeper. It can potentially, I didn't do it today, but like it can combo with like Snake Trap, and you can kill off a Lyra.
Drop anything like Swordhorns, Lyras, anything around that.
Yeah. So I mean, there's always that option, but I mean, it's been really good. I'd go to 4 if I could.
Welcome back. So. All right, well, appreciate the deck profile. Any closing thoughts? Just something you might stick with for champs, or is that a secret?
Well, it's like champs is gonna have to change. There's no way that because like half the deck is like gone. So we'll have to see. I do know that there are some things that are going to be really interesting coming out of the upcoming set. So
I won't make you spoil any of that now.
No, I can't. But I'm really excited for the stuff coming out. Also, big shout out to my teammate Justin Finnegan.
Yes.
Team Ragnarok made 2 top 8 appearances this time and just won the whole thing. So congrats
just won today in Akron. So that profile will actually be up on CBH's channel. So definitely go check that out if you want to see what he won with. Dargans.deck.
Yeah, right.
Super cool stuff. All right, Mark. Well, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Here's the deck list for anybody who wants to give it a shot before rotation and maybe even after. You know, make some changes. Let us know what you think, and hopefully, guys, we'll see you next time. Peach.
Later.